the greatest of all time tell a story. In old gymnasiums, locker rooms, office buildings, they tell it to anyone near. While running on back roads, fighting through exhaustion and injury, they yell it through the fear, like Michael Jordan. In every one of his shots, over and over, thousands of times for years, he was telling us the story of his greatness. When Muhammad Ali jumped rope, you heard it each time the rope brushed the floor. Every time Fred Astaire counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every tape Jesse Owens ever broke. Every stroke from Picasso's brush. And each rush of air into Edith Piaf's lungs. In the burned tongue of Julia Child. Every time Miles would trumpet freed. Believing those who are not afraid to fail succeed. So he inhale, exhale, breathe so hard you were sure his lungs would fall in. In every note he tells their story. All in. In every jump. Every push, every moment, all in. That is how great stories begin. That is how legends are made. That is how life is played by the very best. Whether we are talking about athletes, artists, architects, bankers, parents, chefs, what you do, it doesn't matter as long as you are doing your very best. If you are, then whether scoring on ice or pouring ice in, whether part of the team or part of the press, whether behind the line or behind a counter, making a cross-court pass or passing papers across a desk, if wherever you are there pushing towards your own highest level of success, then you are playing in your own personal stadium. The arena built for you, designed for you to excel at what you are most skilled to do. And if that's true, then it really isn't about what you are, but who. It's less about what you do and more about why and how. And the best measure of your success is how many people come away from you saying, wow, if all that's true, then the reason we are here right now is to discover why we're here and then come away knowing where we are and where we're going. See, this world has changed, right? I mean, now it's not strange to take conference calls in your car while carting your kids to class. Right? It's no longer odd to commute by bike to the beach while staying in reach via phone. Now, we let our networks work while working the net, interface book timing with millions while sitting at home alone. In this newber world, cabs are no longer king. We carry phones instead of checks. Keeping in touch means touch screens. We do business by text. We don't watch TV on TV now, and newspapers, not how we get the news. See, these are the good new days of Apple Pay. And if our banking needs don't always need banks, it falls on you to transform what banks do by getting to the root of what it means when someone thanks you and come to understand what we are thanking you for. See, some banks, they deal with people like they don't hear names. Like we don't have feelings. Like we're just business dealings. Like success isn't measured in relationships. And all we are is numbers on ledgers and deposit slips. And when we thank you, it's because we have come to trust that you are different from other banks. You are where we come to in the most critical times. And in the most critical times, you are there. When we're blindsided by heartbreak that seems so unfair. When we're buried beneath so much debt, it is a struggle just to get air. We think everything is fine, and then we crash into a doctor's chair. And in each of those moments, you are there. And in the better times, when we are joy-filled up to overflowing, we come to deposit our smiles, knowing should our future ever get dark, you have been saving up our light. When we find our heart empty, we come to you to withdraw fight. And knowing you are there helps our spirits. When the story of our life is being told and we need to hear it, we come to you. It's not about money. It's about meaning. That is what you do. For you, success is measured in relationships, and you don't just see us as numbers on ledgers and deposit slips, because you know greatness is never just about the numbers. It's about what the numbers mean. Like 2, 17, 5, 160, 4, 0, and 1. Just numbers, no meaning. Then meaning comes as a woman comes up to you with tears in her eyes, holding 2 kids, the one age 7, the other 5, and she's trying not to cry. As she explains, she's overdrawn by $160 because her alimony is spent and her paycheck was delayed, and she's $40 short for rent unless the fees get waived. And is there anything that can be done? As she stood in line, she prayed for mercy. Mercy comes in a flower print dress, hands her a tissue, says, don't stress. Other banks say no. We say yes. And in that second, you have transformed what banks do. You have changed people's lives for the better. You have learned how to listen to numbers like 5, 40, 30,000, 10, 3, and 1. Just numbers, no meaning. Then meaning comes when a farmer comes up with big plans, says if he can refinance, he has the chance to expand, get 40 more cattle and 5 more hands to work 10 more acres, bring in another 30 grand. He says for 3 generations, his family has worked the same land, and in all that time, ATB has been the one bank beside them. See, it's not just the numbers, it's the meaning inside them. That is what you believe. Your 10 ATBs are the proof that you see that money is just the value of our minutes. Every story has greatness in it, and if you believe that, then you know. You don't have to be Kobe to be the will he showed when he hobbled up with no Achilles and drilled his free throws. You don't have to be Gretzky to start each dawn focused on what you care enough about to go all in on. You don't have to be Oprah to push beyond what you thought was possible. The story of ATB will be unstoppable only as long as each customer tells it in their voice. You will stay Alberta's choice only as long as they hear their story falling from your lips. You want to go all in, you have to read deposit slips like 75-130-172-242, 5,000, 6,9, 7,040, and 1. Just numbers, no meaning. Then meaning comes. Meaning appears in the story you have been telling for over 75 years, a story that meant to be continued and is entirely true, is being told daily by each of you in 130 agencies, 172 branches, 242 community. That is what over 5,000 of your team members do. They tell 697,000 customers. We have been studying up on poker. See, when the best poker player in the world plays, he somehow knows when to check, raise, drop, double up the small blind off the flop, waits just a touch, hesitates just enough, he flops the nut straight, but got you sure it's a bluff, which means whatever he does, you will call him. So what does he do? All in. And that is what each of you must do. Tell each of your customers we're taking $40.1 billion in assets and going all in on the one thing that matters most, you. And if you do, then doing it proves that ATB transformed because it believed if a bank doesn't work for people, it doesn't work. See, the secret behind your success will be the way you respect. We all get lost sometimes, all pause, unsure of the next step. And when we do, we come to you to cash our check, then check our cash for some clue as to what we are about to do next. And we are reminded that if each morning as we step onto the floor, we take stock of our personal gains and exchange a breath so deep we are sure our lungs will fall in that moment. If we go all in, we trade our mediocrity for greatness. We make an investment in what's possible. We draw on the faith that while we can't be Steve Jobs, we can be his unstoppable. See, in the world we live in now, we don't believe our happiness is optional, and we want a bank that agrees. And that is why we want ATB, because it sees that it is more than a bank. It's a library full of all these great stories that delight you, confound you, intrigue you, astound you, and all being written on the paper we get from you. This 5 says anniversary. This 1 says first puck. This memo line on this check says college, champagne to toast our son, scotch to mark our grandfather. The night we went with our friends to cheer the Raptors. The summer we went whitewater rafting in Jasper. Our first date, we shared a pizza. You wore that blue dress. This novel tells the story of the ring that earned the yes, that withdrew all of my breath. So many pages of a story told throughout the ages that never ends. It just passes on between families, strangers, friends. The story of travel, cars, school dances, home loans, new jobs, limitless chances to tell everyone we see. My life tells the story of ATB because they tell the story of me, the story of greatness when good enough isn't. See, it isn't about the numbers. It's about what the numbers mean. 1, 11, 700, 2, 172, 5,000, 6,9, 7,000, 01. No meaning. Meaning comes as we come together in one conference, one moment, one as 700 leaders, all critical to any changes being done, are taught to trust, to reimagine, to have fun. Over 2 days, they are taught to think of their jobs like poker and play like they want to win it, to go back to 172 branches, to tell over 5,000 team members to live their life with no limits, to tell 697,000 customers we're at a new chapter, and right now we begin it, and together the story of our greatness will be written each minute. The bet is 10 ATBs, and we are going all in. See, it isn't about the numbers. It's about what the numbers mean.